I'm in the correct live. Greetings to the Conscious Collective. I am a little late because I started the wrong live. I started our weekend psychic training live that I wasn't supposed to start till um, Saturday, and I accidentally started it now. But since I did, I hope you guys will join me on Saturday as we do some psychic training. Okay. But today we wanted to talk about the dead internet conspiracy, and we're going to get to that topic now that I'm in the correct lives. Greetings to YouTube, to TikTok. TikTok, I am broadcasting over YouTube, and you're probably the reason, TikTok, I want to talk about the dead internet conspiracy theory. But I thought we'll kind of loosen up a little bit with some psychic practices. I just want to make sure that I got all the correct things. Divine Rising, Nicole, thank you for joining me. Messed up a little bit, but I am here now, a little late. I had it all set and then I messed it up. And I got to correct it later. But I wanted to start with some psychic practice just so we can get into the right space and right energy. You guys remember we used to do this on TikTok, mind reading. We do have psychic training on Saturdays. I announce it on my newsletter. Come subscribe to the newsletter so you can get that link. Only the people on the newsletter will get that link to join the psychic training. But we're going to do a little practice right now just to kind of ease us into Monday, okay? So I have my cards here, and they have different colors on them, words on them, and numbers, and a shape, all right? In the chat on YouTube, I'm going to look at a card, and you guys tell me what card I am looking at. This is our mind reading practice, just to kind of ease us into Monday. All right, so I'm looking at a color and a shape on this card and a number. On Saturdays, we do a whole hour of psychic practices to engage us. So if you can tell me what I'm looking at, I'll kind of wait till you guys wake up. And then what I was looking at was this. Okay. It is like Saturn, karmic path. I'll show it to you, YouTube. You should come over here. I'll show it to you. All right. It's like karmic path 08. Did anyone get that? We're doing a little psychic practice right now before we move into our discussion on the internet being dead and why most people feel like the internet is dead. But just to warm up, thank you for everyone that's joining me here in this conversation. I'm looking at a shape. It's a word, two words, a color, and a number. Does anyone have any idea what that is? We're only going to do it for a few minutes. Anyone want to suggest? I don't know OPRA, but okay. Greetings. I just caught your video, man. It was really good. It came up in my feed. Thank you for joining me. Okay, we're doing a little karmic practice for my community here, but I did catch your this brother is really deep. If you guys want to expand on your knowledge, check out. I want to make sure I get the title right. Hold on. It's called the Network Awareness on YouTube. On TikTok. Network Awareness on TikTok. You want to check that out. I had the honor of communion with the brother a couple weeks ago, we got together, and I want to talk about community gatherings, that we need to do more community gatherings, because a lot of engagement on social media is not real. Some people say it's like 80 to 90% of bots, um, algorithms, AI. And so we think we're engaging with people, but we're not. It's actually a conspiracy to keep us from connecting. So I had a chance to um, connect with some real people in real life, and I recommend that everyone do that. This is the shape I'm thinking about. I was looking at. It's a circle. It's a full moon. And it's a 29. I'm streaming here over on YouTube. If you're here, let me know you're here. You did say pink. Nicole, you've always been pretty good at this, reading minds, reading energy. It's pink, and that number is 29. You said 22. So that's pretty good. All right. Let's do a couple more of reading my mind. This was very popular on TikTok before TikTok banned me. YouTube is slowly banning me too. We need to be working in real life, because now we're going through these gatekeepers, and it's not what it used to be. It is not what it started out to be. Everyone knows the difference. Everyone feels the difference in it, but we're not supposed to be engaged like this anyway as conscious individuals. All right. We're supposed to be in person with each other. So I'm looking at a shape and a word, a color, and a number. What are you guys picking up from my mind? What are you picking up from my mind? Are you picking up anything? Or are you in your own mind? I actually started the wrong live this morning. This is what I'm looking at. It is the divine masculine. The divine masculine is on the descent. It's an orange kind of color, and it is the bull. What are you doing over there, TikTok? You just blinked me out. I don't know if TikTok did something. Oh, yeah. Oh, NPCs, NPCs, non-playable characters, AIs, and just people who are just numb. I had a very good conversation. I'm not going to mention names, but I had a very good conversation with um, people just are hopeless. I was kind of disappointed that when the Epstein files came out, that people didn't really just tear this whole system down. But I think a lot of people are just in a state of hopelessness, that they don't think that they can affect things. They don't think they can change things. They think that it just is what it is, and they have no power. And our job is to awaken them to their power. And I don't think we're doing the effective job enough, awakening people to their own personal power, their own soul sovereignty. We got to think, for thousands of years, people have been giving their power to gatekeepers, to other people, to other systems. They have been giving their power away to so many people and so many systems and so many institutions. And now we're asking them to take their power back and to live in self sovereignty and help change the programming. And that's what I want to talk to you about, um, the network of awareness. Um, I don't want to mispronounce your name. Are you still there? I think it's Oprah, because that's not what the name I thought it was. I don't know. Am I pronouncing it right? Because I don't think that's what Billy told me your name was, or you introduced yourself as, but maybe you're going by a different name. I don't know. I may be lost in the sauce. It's early. Well, I apologize. You were saying about the matrix, and I wanted to talk to you about the matrix. Greetings, greetings, sign Trinity. That the matrix is just a framework. The matrix is just a framework. It is just the skeleton system. The matrix is not what is not actually the enemy. The matrix is not the enemy. It's just the framework. It's like you get mad at the movie screen. Okay, you watch a movie and it sparks this emotion from you, and you get mad at the screen and the projector. And that's not that. The matrix is just what we project out onto. Okay, there are individuals that use our energy to create narratives that we are participating in helping them create. We are actually the ones that create the reality onto the matrix, just like they use the matrix to create the reality. And I've talked to people about this a lot. Like as light workers and star seeds, we have different consciousness, but our framework, our skeleton is the Gaian, our Gaian. We are on Gaia, and the planet is called Gaia. The consciousness of the planet is called Gaia, and we're here, and we're part of this plane of existence, right? But our consciousness is something else, and this is just the framework we project ourselves down into. Okay, so when we're talking about the matrix is not. It's just the screen. The forces, the dark forces that we work against are, the reptilians and some of the other races that are acting in their own interests and using us for that. Okay. So I wanted to be clear about that. But let's go back to our practice really quickly. I know I'm going to be all over the board as usual, but I'm looking at a color, a shape, a number, and a word. You guys know what I'm looking at? This is just reading my mind practice really quick. This is something we do on Saturdays. The more you use your intuition, your inner guidance, the stronger it's going to get. It's like any action that you're taking in the physical world also applies to the spiritual world. So like if you're working out and you're getting stronger and you're stretching, you're exercising, it's the same way with your spiritual gifts. You have to use them for them to become more prominent in your day-to-day life. So this will be the last one, and we're going to talk about chakras before we get into our general talk about the dead internet. This is what I was looking at. Anybody pick this up? No? Yes? Anyone see a color? A kind of a fuchsia color? Some sticks in a plane? A pyramid? I think Nicole said pyramid earlier. Divinity rhymes with Trinity. You know that? Divinity rhymes with Trinity. That was for someone out in the community. They know who they are. They know who they are. All right. That's enough of that psychic training. The number was, hold on. If I can find it again, I'm going to shuffle it up again. Was 20. The number was 20. How's everyone doing today? Divine rising to the conscious collective. If you are not conscious, this is probably won't interest you. But I do wish you love and light in your journey and health and wealth in your journey. I wish you love and light in your journey and health and wealth in your journey. I've been watching Dr. Umar. I just like the way he talks. He repeats things about 3 or 4 times. If you guys are familiar with Dr. Umar, he repeats things about 3 or 4 times. All right. So I just like it, but maybe I'll start doing that to kind of wake people up a little bit. All right. Let's move on. See if this comes up. And we're going to talk about the chakras. We are going to talk about the chakras. All right. As part of this discussion, we're going to talk a little bit about the chakras. Now, we basically know the 7 chakras. So we have the root, we have the sacral, the solar plex, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And as I was meditating this morning, trying to discern what the universe wanted me to talk about, what divine source wanted me to talk about in relationship to the chakras. Now, we used to do a lot of chakra practices to activate the chakras, a lot of ways to stimulate the chakras. The chakras are where we hold energy at. We live in an energy plane. We come here to learn to manipulate and master energy for our next ascension. And so we have to understand that you don't need Jesus. You need to work on your chakras. That's probably right. You don't need Jesus. You need to work on your chakras. You need to know why you do the things you do and why you respond the way you respond. You're holding energy, sometimes negative energy, sometimes too much positive energy. We look for balanced energy. Okay, we don't look for too much and we don't look for too little. Prime example, solar plex chakra is where you have your determination. Determination is good, but determination can also put you in a space where you don't listen to anything anyone's saying, even when it's for your own good. So we always work on our chakras. I think I lost somebody when I said we don't need Jesus. We need to work on our chakra. That whole thing is just, the more you read about that, even the names in the Bible. Okay, the Bible was written in the Middle East, right? You go to the Middle East and you ask people names, you're not going to find no Matthew, no Paul, no Saul. You're not going to find those names in people in the, so the names are, if the names are wrong and the times and dates are wrong, that's a document you can't even bring in court. And if it's riddled with falsities and obvious lies, then why would you use that as your sole mechanism for understanding God? And that's not to say that there are not really powerful metaphors and parables and stories in that book. Like all spiritual teachings, they are lessons. There are things that you can learn in that book, but to use it as the end all, the be all is crazy work. It's crazy work. If you can go to the Middle East right now, where all them stories take place, and find me a Matthew. I don't mean a modern day. I mean a traditional person name. That's like giving me a book from Mexico and all the names are in Arabic. I'm reading something from Mexico, but all the names are in Arabic. That's going to be very suspect to me. Very suspect. Okay? So you can take a lot of meaning out of it, but it shouldn't be used as the total answer to how you experience divine source, divine God, source God. I would rather go to nature because I know that divine source operates more in the space that it created than it would in some man-made writing. And I look to nature and the world around me for answers to how I should maneuver in this plane of existence. So some people like, well, you shouldn't be questioning things. Then why did I get this mind? Of all the things in the ways that are created, from animals to dolphins to whales to sheep, all of them have a limited capacity of consciousness. Why would we have so much consciousness if we're not meant to use it? Why would we question if we're not meant to question? Why would that even be a way, the way we were made? We could have been made any kind of way. We could have been made any kind of way. Look at your dog, look at your cat. They have a limited amount of consciousness. You'll never see them gathering up stones to set up a temple to pray to something, because that's not in their consciousness. In our consciousness is the desire to know things, to experience things, to question things. If that is not divine purpose, then why do we have it? I said often, maybe people understand this better. Without this thumb, it's going to be very hard for you to do things. If I tried to lift this bottle without this thumb, it's going to be very hard for me to do it. This thumb was given for a reason, to help me maneuver in this plane of existence. But if they want you to be dumb, I did a video the other day about religion demands your ignorance. It demands that you obey and not question. Why? Why? So we're going to do a little talk about the chakras and how they help us maneuver and navigate this plane of existence that's all energy, and that we're energetic beings. And people really have never elaborated on what that means, that we're having a spiritual experience. It means that you are energy and you are using your energy to navigate an energetic world. So we used to do a lot of things to activate these chakras, right? Remember the tapping? We used to do the tapping, right? Even now, I offer mentorship to help people clear and balance their chakra. It's a process, and it's a continuation of a process, because like your clothes, like your body, they get dirty. They have to be cleansed and clean. So does your chakras. I really wish it was a one and done. I really wish we could go somewhere, give it all over to Jesus, and be better people. And I'm not trying to judge people, but a lot of people give it all over and they're no better. They give it all to Jesus and they're no better. They don't become better people. I wish it was that easy, but life requires work. It requires continued self reflection, self-evaluation, questioning yourself. But you'll hear a lot of religious teaching saying that if everyone would just do this, we'll be okay. Well, everyone's not going to do that, because we're not made like that. Nowhere has that even happens at. You don't even have families where brothers and sisters are the same. It's not in the nature of human beings to be the same. Everyone has their path and their journey. So how can you have a one size fits all and this is for everyone when nothing is for everyone? This shirt can be made to fit a lot of people, but it can't fit everyone. All right. So to tell me that you have the answer for everyone, regardless or who they are and what their journey is crazy work to me. It's crazy work to me. All right. So as I was meditating on what chakra to talk about before we get into the idea that the internet is dead, and I was meditating on what chakra, I went through all the various chakra. We got the throat, and I talked before how the heart allows you to speak from the heart. We got the throat chakra. After you open the heart chakra, the throat chakra allows you to speak truth, set your boundaries, out of love. Everything comes from love, right? How to see people through the third eye, how to see them in a better light. Is a TikTok over there humbling me? TikTok always says a bot to humble me. All right. How the crown chakra. Okay. If you're not operating in love from the heart chakra, if you haven't healed your lower chakra, it's going to be hard for your crown chakra to open and to recognize that you are divine source. I had a very good discussion with a personal friend about the term I am, and the great I am, and how that applies to us being divine in a muscular way. There you have the bigger whole, and you have the small part in the bigger whole. All right, we are part of the larger whole, even though we feel like we're a small part. And I made the statement in the discussion that when we do all this growing and all this expanding, we come back to where we started. To me, that's a beautiful thing. That when you finally do all the work and all the growth and all the understanding, you find out you already had the answer. That's crazy work, ain't it? That's crazy work. After all your years of learning and studying and reading and trying to find and understand what's greater than you, you find out that you were always the answer. So as I was trying to decide what chakra to talk about, I got a download of a chakra that a lot of people don't know a lot about. And if you've been rocking with me for a while, you probably know about this chakra because we have the 7 chakras, but they're the primary chakras, which exist in the hand, is how you show up in this plane of existence, how you create, how you manifest. Nothing's done without the hands. All right. And that's where the energy comes, not only on healing, but manifesting and actually attracting. If you have been manifesting and trying to attract things and they're not working, well, you have to understand that everything is manipulated through hands, and your palm chakras are unbalanced. That's why you're manifesting and attraction is not working. People say, well, I'm trying to manifest, Bob, I'm trying to attract, and then all these chakras be blocked. All these chakras be blocked. And I'm like, good luck with that. Good luck with that unless you work on those chakras, okay? But I want to talk about the Zeo Point chakra. How many have heard of the Zeo Point chakra beyond what I teach about it? And if you're following me on TikTok, join or subscribe or do whatever they do. Follow me on TikTok so I can be able to put the link so you can see this on YouTube. All right, that's where I show my images at. I'm not doing anything on TikTok anymore because I had a large audience there, and TikTok really shut it down, which was I had to clear that energy out. I'm still working on clearing that energy out. But I want to talk about the Zeo Point chakra, which is often called the mouth of God. This is how love and light. This is how this Zeo Point chakra is called the mouth of God, is how we receive communications. I don't want to say downloads, but it's how we actually receive communications. Okay. A lot of people think that maybe the crown chakra is how we receive our downloads. All right. And this, we can get inspiration, but the crown chakra moves into the soul star chakra. So above the crown chakra is the soul star chakra. Okay. Beneath your feet, beneath the root chakra is the earth star chakra. Earth star is a consciousness. And so as you move up through your chakras, you get into the crown star chakra. And the crown star chakra is your connection to your knowing that there's something that you're a part of a greater whole. It's the knowing. Like you go to your crown chakra, it's like, I know. And then you get into the soul star chakra, right? You realize that you're a part of the larger universe. And we do ascension activation where you experience this. If you're part of the community, I will be putting out these workshops that you can experience and you can join the workshops. I communicate everything on the workshop. So you really need to join the community if you're not part of the community. All right, the links is in the description. Hey, do me a favor, everyone. Stop what you're doing. Throw a thumbs up in this video, all right, and leave a comment so we can get this algorithm rocking, okay? All right, do that real quick for me. But don't forget to thumbs up the video. But crown chakra is the knowing, and the earth star chakra is the experiencing of everything. Let's put it like that. The soul star chakra. The soul star chakra is the experience in everything, just like the earth star chakra is your experience here on earth plane. Okay. All right. I don't think they count it in the comments, Nicole. I think they look at it in the comments below. I don't know. YouTube is slowly preventing this information from getting out. And that's why I want to talk about our conscious community gatherings that I'm working on, that we need to start meeting in person and in places, because these social media platforms, and I'm always ahead of the curve. All right. I'm not saying that to be braggadocious, but I operate in a couple of dimensions. All right. Because yesterday I came in and my blinds were open. And I'm like, I never opened those blinds. So, of course, I looked around and tried to make sure the house was secure. But I was like, I never opened those blinds. So I don't know if I opened them in another dimension, maybe forgot to open them or whatever it was. Right. But I tend to kind of see things, a lot farther down. And social media is not going to be around the way we think it's around, because a lot of people are just leaving it. We're leaving them bots to argue with each other. We're leaving them bots to just sit there and argue with each other. Okay. That's not where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be, in a community, connecting with each other, working with each other. So we're going to work hard on that. All right. But I appreciate that I can kind of reach out now while it's still some life left in this thing. But a lot of people are not even on social media like that anymore. That's why a lot of these platforms are scrambling to try to figure out how to engage you. And YouTube has this strategy of, if you like one video, they send you other videos like the one you saw, and you're like, damn, I'm more than just one thing. I like different stuff, YouTube. I like to find different stuff. I like other different stuff to be recommended. Don't just send me the same. I just saw that. Okay, I get it. My interests are so varied that, just because I listen to one thing don't mean I just want to see every video be that one damn thing. It's just crazy. All right. But they're trying to just figure out how to keep you engaged, and people are leaving social media. People are so dissatisfied. TikTok was the bomb. Then it went heavy on censorship. Instagram was a great place to share pictures. And now it's just like fake reality and lies, and people not living life like that. You don't look like that. Like you have those filters and you're like, you don't look like that. That's not your life. You had that PPP money And now you were living your best life. The government was giving out them checks and you were living your best life, huh? It's worse than a distraction. It is worse than a distraction. I'm going to get to what it really is. It's much worse than a distraction. All right. It's actually to keep you off your purpose and your mission. You guys are the most terrifying things to those that are operating the matrix at this point now. Awoke people, when you think you don't have any power, right? That's because you sleep and you are refusing to accept your responsibility. But once you awaken, you realize you have all the power in the world. So let's not get too far off the zeal point chakra, the mouth of God chakra. I want to talk about that. All right, I don't want to get too far off that, right? This is a chakra that we are going to be working with in some upcoming workshops. But this chakra allows you to connect, to communicate with whatever you in your journey feel is more than you. This is how you hear from the ascended masters, how you connect with your spirit team, how your angel team communicates, whatever perspective that you have. And I say perspective because nothing is right or wrong. A lot of religions like to tell you, well, it's only this, right? Well, that would mean that, 80% of the planet is wrong and you're just right. Because ancient people did not have saints and deities like that. They had ancestors. They had venerable ancestors or other things that they connected with. It's almost like when Native people were honoring the wind, the rain, the ocean, the trees, we said they were pagan, not understanding that they're honoring the concept of God. They're respecting the concept of God. But we have to put that God in a body and say, that's not what you do. And we removed ourselves from actually connecting with source. You cannot tell me that divine source did not create a universe first, did not create the earth and gardens and trees first. And I really want to impress on you that if you want to, you can never know God. You can never know God. All right. You don't have the mental capacity. I don't have the mental capacity. I don't have the mental capacity. You don't have the mental capacity. All right. We're talking about an infinite, omnipresent source of everything. I have a hard time with algebra. Okay. So I damn sure can't know everything that God knows. Okay. It's just not in my capacity. You can take one of your animals and you can try to teach it some high level thing. It doesn't have the mental capacity for it. Or maybe it'll do a few tricks, but you can't really give it any kind of high level thinking. And that's not to say that, there's something wrong with that. It's only to say that it is what it is. But you can't experience God. You can experience it in a sunset. You can experience it in a flower. The most beautiful place you can experience God is in a baby's laugh, because that's pure love, pure joy. A baby's laugh will make you smile, most people. This is why, and I get off this little bit, this is why they were doing so much to babies and children, because that's pure energy. That's pure source energy, unfiltered. Think about it. No trauma, no abuse, no, just the younger it is, the more pure the energy is. And that energy is what they use as the oil to fuel the matrix and their plans. Think of it like an engine. The matrix is the engine. Your oil, your car needs oil to lubricate it. So we're talking about the 0 point chakra and how it allows us to communicate with whatever way that we experience greater source, divine source, God. Let's not get into a discussion about semantics that you call it Jehovah, you call it this. That's divisive. That's just a plan to divide you, when our whole purpose is to be connected to each other, to be one. So however you experience it or however you relate to it, that is how we communicate through it. You notice in the Matrix, right? In the movie, they plugged it in the back of the neck. You guys gotta really pay attention. If you are awoke, pay attention. And I got a download about why there's so much truth in movies. I thought it was because, the creative process comes from source, because source is the creator of everything. And so you being, creative, you will kind of pick up on everything that the creative has out there, and you could put it in a story form or a movie form or something like that. But I was thinking about Disclosure Day. Disclosure Day is coming. Steven Spielberg is releasing a movie June 12th called Disclosure Day. Now, Steven Spielberg is one of the most important filmmakers of this plane of existence. When he got married in Chicago to his wife, he shut down what we call Promenade Point. Now, if you're not from Chicago, you don't know what the point is. Promenade Point is a part of the lake that kind of extends out a little bit to the lake. And a lot of people go there. It's a park there, and it's great views, and there's a walking path there, and it's beautiful. And Chicago, I'm going to tell you, as a native Chicagoan, Chicago is beautiful. Chicago is beautiful in so many ways. I love growing up there. But Chicago's a lot like God. All right. Why do I say that? Chicago is beautiful and brutal. All right. In my opinion, divine source is not only beautiful, but brutal. It is both half of what is majestic and what is horrifying. So Chicago, to me, operates in that space where it is a beautiful city, but it is also a terrifying city. Do you know the summers in Chicago kill almost as much, kill or unalive as many people in the summertime as it does in the wintertime. In the winter times in Chicago, you could freeze to death. And in the summertime, people die of heat stroke and heat exhaustion. And maybe that's why I'm the way I am, because I grew up in a city with two big extremes like that, where the winters are brutal. And if you have not lived in Chicago, anyone that's been there, that's lived there during a brutal day, will tell you that that weather, I don't know, maybe Missouri is, but Chicago is brutal. Maybe it's the whole Midwest. But I digress in some other points. When you look at the beauty of it, right, there's a lot of beautiful spaces there. And the point is one of it. It's called prominent point. We call it the point where you have your first date at, where people used to. I know this is back in the day where your date could have been a walk. You meet somebody and you like, well, where we gonna go? And you young, you ain't got no money, and you're like, let's go to the point. And she was excited. She was excited. Yeah, let's go to the point. It was like when experiences were the real excitement, not spending money, not taking pictures, not doing things on the gram and trying to prove to everyone that you're doing something because you haven't done the work on yourself, and you feel like you have to validate yourself by proving to people that you're doing something, that you're experiencing something. I came up at a time where the experience was just being together. So we would go on a date and be like, let's go to the point. Let's go to the lake. That was a thing. That was a real thing. I mean, they argued about coffee dates and I need you to do this. I need you to be a provider. I need you to do this. I need to come over. And no, so I'm not going to just get on the women. The men are that's Netflix and chill. Everyone knows what that's code for. That's Netflix and chill. And the woman's like, I need to go out to this restaurant. These are a list of restaurants I want to go to. I had so many dates at the point. I mean, really good dates. We talked, we laughed, we walked. Hopefully by the end of the day, you're holding hands. I don't know. We lost that human connection. I mean, social media was like, oh, this is the thing. I can meet more people. And you do meet people, but I think now it's so filled with garbage that you're not even meeting people anymore. So Steven Spielberg, he shut down the point for his wedding. He got married and he shut down the point. Like Jeff Bezos shut down Paris, when he got married. Steven Spielberg shut down the point for like 3 or 4 days when he got married. So I'm just saying to say that, that's how important a filmmaker that he is, right? He's a very important filmmaker, and he's bringing out a movie called Disclosure Day, where the government actually lets out information about there being aliens and extraterrestrials and the changes that take place in the world around it. To me, sounds like a very boring movie, a very boring premise, but I think it's an important movie, all right? Because you see now that the government is releasing more and more information on extraterrestrials, releasing more and more information on there's other life out there. So why would he bring out this movie at this time? Why would he bring out the movie at this time when, hold on one second. Okay. When they're already releasing out information around it. I got 2 ideas about that. All right. First one is a PSYOP operation. It's a PSYOP operation that when the real contact happens, they will claim that it was just part of the promo for the movie. Anyone familiar with the Mandela effect? If you know the Mandela effect, I'm not talking about Nelson Mandela. It's a Mandela effect where you remember things differently than what they are now. Like me remembering if I opened the shade or if I didn't open the shade. One reality, I did open the shade. The other reality, I didn't open the shade. The Mandela effect says that, this happened, like the Bernstein Bears never had an S on the end of it or whatever the ideal is, right? Those are the Mandela effects. This is going to be a PSYOP operation like the Mandela effect, that when we do experience certain contacts with extraterrestrials and aliens, that they would claim that it was just part of the movie or a promo for the movie. That's what I honestly think they're going to do. So, and if you're telling me that anything going to come of extraterrestrials actually contacting humanity and humanity experiencing it, this government is not going to let that happen. They're not going to let that happen. TikTok, why do you do this? Hold on. TikTok about to shut me down if I can't do this right. Okay. They did not let the Epstein files out. Don't tell me they're going to, if extraterrestrials actually make contact, they're not going to let that happen. Hell, just how long has it been? 2021 that we went through the pandemic. They actually sent us all in the house, told us not to come outside. They had some cover story about trying to stop the contagion from spreading. Be easy to make up another cover story. Oh, y'all need to go in the house. All y'all need to go in the house. So you won't see with your own eyes. You won't be able to experience it yourself. And then you'll have to rely on what story they tell you. I honestly think that that's what's going to really happen, and that's why they're bringing out all this stuff about extraterrestrials and releasing files and making a movie about it, because I think that they want a cover story, a psyop operation to tell you not to believe what you experience. I agree. I'm posting that. If you were woke, then you knew what was going on. If you were woke, you knew what was going on. But there's also another diabolical reason I think that they are releasing information and that they're making this movie Discovery Disclosure Day, right? I think I kind of really feel that that these governments have been engaging with the Galactic Federation. I firmly believe in the Galactic Federation. I don't believe that we're just it. This is it. I even if you say this is it, and then it's just God, that's really sad. That's really sad because it's only us and then God. It's only us and then God. Nothing else. All this universe, the vastness of it, that is infinite, is only for the purpose of us and God. It's just, that's a lot of that's a whole waste there, you know, like giving us a conscious mind. That's a waste if we don't use it. Why would you give me a conscious mind, a questioning mind, an inquisitive mind, if I'm not meant to use it? That would be just a total waste. Don't tell me that that's the way it had to be, because you have animals who are not curious. You have animals that are not conscious. Well, that's what I want to get into. I think this is what is really about, that they are having communications and contact with extraterrestrials now. We know them as the Galactic Federation, and they're communicating with them now. And they have agreed with the Galactic Federation to let their population know about them. The Galactic Federation said, look, if you want us to keep sharing our technology and our scientific advancements with you, right, you're going to have to bring your population and make them aware of there's a larger community out there. And we do this on Earth. You can go to some places on earth like Russia, like North Korea, China, where the information is censored. It's censored. You can't just say and do what you want to do. And the United States is getting that way too. They're censoring a lot of things because they don't need you thinking. Their whole plan is don't think about God, don't think about the government, just do the hell what we tell you to do. And so you have governments here already that censor information. So they censor the information, but the Galactic Federation is like, look, if you want us to continue to work together, you're going to have to let your population know that there's a larger thing out here. There's more than what they think it is. And so I think the way they get around it, and the way I feel like they get around it, is they show us things in movies and in TV shows. And so they have fulfilled their obligation to the Galactic Federation, to the higher consciousness being. Because these beings, I think, don't really realize that we don't see TVs. Okay. All right. That they don't see TV and movies as that we see TV and movies as a separate entertainment. The Galactic Federation believes that that's part of our reality, but when we're here, we see it as imaginary. So the governments have fulfilled their obligation, but we still remain in the dark. You understand what I'm saying? Because those that aren't awake and not reading into it and not gleaning meaning from it, right, see it as just entertainment. Us that are awake and conscious, we actually see truth in these stories. So that's why I think they're bringing out a lot of stuff about extraterrestrials, and the movie's going to be really important because I think there's going to be some really things that we can glean from it. Just like the Matrix actually opened people's eyes, I think a lot of times certain storylines can really raise consciousness if you have been doing the work. And this is where I get back to the Zero Point chakra. I know people want to talk about other things, and that's why we had the habit on TikTok that everyone wants to hijack the conversation, but they don't want to do the work of building their audience. They rather just come in and say something unrelated. But we're talking about the Zero Point chakra and how that allows you to communicate with your ascended masters, guardian angels, aliens, or whatever way you want to see it. Clearing that chakra, and we're going to have a workshop on how to clear that chakra. After you have cleared the other chakras, after you have done the work to clear the other chakras, all right, you work to clear that chakra. If you know something, if you're feeling, and I don't think like people say, well, I heard God talks to me. I'm like, okay, I guess, I don't know, and he told me to tell you something. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Because it can tell me itself. It don't need you. It can tell me itself. Okay. So when you work to clear that chakra, you get a better understanding of how you should maneuver and how you're protected and how you're covered and how you have a team behind you. It's almost like when you're a race car driver. No middleman, please. No middleman, please. It's like you're a race car driver and you pull into the pit and they start taking your tires off and they start washing windows and putting oil and fuel in, right? You have a team. You have a team that is working on your side. I don't care how you see it, ancestors, extraterrestrials, angels. This is how you connect with them. Now, a lot of us are being talked to and communicated with, but we're not trusting it. We're not trusting it because another chakra is blocked. Maybe the heart chakra or the crown chakra. We don't trust what we're being communicated to or about. There's no need for your spirit team, and they're always communicating. There is always a communication. But if I'm communicating through here about someone not meaning you good or a relationship that's not meant for you, and your third eye is not open, and you can't perceive more things in depth than you can with your two eyes. Let me go down this road, and I'm going to end this part, and we're going to move into the dead internet theory, right? You see with these two eyes, and these eyes love everything bright and shiny. Everything that looks good to you comes to these two eyes. When you refuse to see with this eye, you can't see the deeper effect of things, of how this person or thing may not mean you the best, because you're focused on these two eyes, as opposed to the spiritual eye, the third eye, the consciousness, to see things a little bit more deeper in detail. That's why working on your chakras is very important. So that's the chakra I want to talk to you about today. We're going to talk about other chakras, but I think that was on my heart to try to get people to understand that you have a team behind you that is trying to connect with you and give you guidance and support. It's funny to me that it's opposite of the mouth, because I may offer things out my mouth that you can try to understand and maybe help guide you. But then there's a larger team that's actually communicating with you and trying to get you to understand and still, help guide you through this plane of resistance. But if you don't believe in anything more than yourself because your crown chakra is blocked, then you're not going to believe anything from your spirit team. If you are only living in your lower chakras and you worried about your job or eating or, security, right? You're not going to move into your heart chakra of love and compassion. People don't give because their lower chakras are overly balanced. They worry about, if I give, I don't have. That shows me that your lower chakras are blocked, because the heart chakra is about giving and compassion and helping. The throat chakra is about speaking from a place of love. But everything goes to the heart chakra. So if you don't get past that heart chakra, it's going to be hard for all these other chakras. Let's move on to the dead internet theory, the conspiracy that the internet is actually dead. And that's why I want to really connect with people. And I've started what I call the conscious gathering, the conscious community gathering, where I really need to go and start meeting people and connecting with them, because I firmly believe that the internet is dead, probably been dead a long time. So let me just read this to you guys. Music. All right. The dead internet conspiracy theory. The internet, you remember, died years ago. You think you're arguing with real people in the comments, but you're likely trapped in a ghost town. Researchers, I guess people who study the internet, now estimate that over 50%, if not higher to me, of all web traffic It's just bots talking to other bots. Have you guys heard the story of those two bots arguing with each other? But that's the rumors are only half right. Governments and corporations are using massive AI farms to manufacture consensus. They create thousands of fake personas to like, share, and comment on specific items until they feel like it's the truth. Elon Musk put on Twitter where you have to post where you're from, and found out that most of the comments that were spurring the divisiveness in America were coming from other countries. Like 90% were coming from other people who were claiming to be an American, but they were only trying to divide America by posting negative comments. So now on Twitter, you have to actually put where you're from, and that cut out a lot of that. But that's not to say that the government is not using the same type of strategy to sway you in a decision. There was bring this down. There was a video going around of the halftime show in 1950s or 1940, whatever it was, and you had a bunch of skinny Caucasian women with reindeer ears on jumping around, right? And somebody put on this is the halftime show in 19 whatever it was, and there were comments below that said, "I'd rather see this than Bad Bunny." And somebody remarked, "Don't engage with that. That's just a bot trying to spur conversation, trying to trigger you." And so what's happening is, and this works for us because what happens as a conscious community, these bots are just arguing back and forth with each other. And if we recognize that, we don't engage into that negativity. We can keep our energy clear. The internet didn't just get crowded, it got hollowed out. You aren't surfing a network of humans, you're wandering through a simulation designed to keep you from feeling alone. As Nicole said earlier, it is the distraction for the distracted. It is to keep you engaging. In Australia, they have actually banned a certain age group, I think underage minors, from I think joining internet or having internet accounts. And I said that to say because they realize how powerful influence the internet can be. How people are just sharing things and there's hardly any original content. People share a lot of things that celebrities and that famous people that they resonate with, not understanding that these are the same pedos and blood drinkers that they are idolizing and sharing their content and keeping that same energy flowing through the internet. If you know why they call Hollywood weird, there's a lot of things that go on there that you have to do, that you have to sacrifice, that you have to become a part of because you thirst after that fame and that success. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the internet is what it used to be, a place of community and engagement, of ideas, of connection? Or is it mainly now just a ghost town of just echoes of bots, AI, NPCs? Because I personally think that's what has come to. I think it's come to that. And I think that real conscious people are realizing that there's no life there. There's no realness there. Everything's a lie. and something used to distract you. I mean, how would you really know? I mean, if you look at AI and how effective, I was looking at this news clip, and they used a picture that was obviously AI generated. I'm like, why did they just use, a real photograph? It was obviously because you can tell an AI generated picture. You can tell if you look closely. And if you watch AI generated content, videos, you can still see certain things that let you know that it's AI, but it's getting better and better. You don't even really know if I'm real. You really don't. The way that you can tell if I'm real is you can look at my low viewership numbers. If you want to know if I'm really real, look at the low view numbers. Then you know that that's real. That's real right there, right? Because there's no other way. You as sophisticated as it's getting harder and harder, and it's going to get worse than you really even know if that is a person engaging with you. I think they have a little statement out that you can put that I don't grant any permission for my image to be used in any shape or form or something like that, because they're going to be able to just create you in so many ways that it's going to be indistinguishable from someone knowing that it's not you. He said, I asked Nicole, look at my, you won't know if I'm real. Look at my views. Look at my views. Those are real. TikTok, if I'm real, look at my views. You can tell that's real. That's real. And I'm only reaching conscious people. I'm only talking about conscious people. That's real. They even have this singer who has topped on the charts, and it's a whole AI. I know you guys heard of this. This is a singer or rapper or something that has topped on the AI, and topped on the charts, on the record charts, and it's just an AI. I want you to understand that there is nothing you can know that you don't know. You can't know something you don't know. And I'm not saying that to be some type of profound teacher. I'm just saying, I want to illustrate that anything that's being created already exists. Anything that they create already exists. You are the ultimate technology. And everything is just being copied off of you. Your consciousness is the highest form of awareness or presence. I didn't say intelligence. I said awareness and presence for a reason. And everything that they're trying to do is to copy that. Being here right now is your greatest gift and your greatest threat to this false reality they want to cocoon you in. I had another talk about the power that AI needs to operate. The water it needs to cool it, and the electricity it needs to use to run it. And I'm talking about AI. I want to make a distinction between AI. AI is nothing new. It is a copy again of what someone mentioned as being ancient intelligence. I like to call it Gaia consciousness. The earth has a consciousness. AI is actually made from silicon, which is sand, which is the earth. The earth has a consciousness, and they're using that and gatekeeping and manipulating it with their rules and algorithms. So you're actually receiving knowledge from Earthstar. That's why it's so intuitive and so connected to you. You're receiving correct knowledge, but what it's doing is being gatekept through protocols and algorithms through AI. So everything that's being that they bring into creation is already modeled off the greatest creation. And that's you as a part of source. If you think the government is operating on your best interest and for your well-being, you lost in the sauce. You are lost in the sauce. They don't care nothing about your self-sovereignty. They don't care if you eat, let alone have a home, shelter. They don't care nothing about that. They want to keep us separated. You in your imaginary world, dreaming about things you really don't want, but they have convinced you that you want them. Most people just want to live their life in happiness, and they have convinced you that you need all these things to make you happy. One of the largest growing businesses in America are storage facilities. People storing crap that they can't seem to part with. I don't know why I'm staring at that. You don't need all that to make you happy. When I've traveled to different countries and different places outside of America, family, I found, is one of the biggest things that make people happy. Family gatherings, family connection. I met some great people. I met this guy, what was it, in Puerto Vallarta? I forget where I met him at. And I met him because I was struggling with English. Or not with English, but with Spanish, because no one spoke English to the degree I thought they would. And I know that's probably just crazy, but I went there and English was not the thing. And if you did not speak Spanish, oh, they kept it moving quick. I really felt isolated. And it was like, it was their country. And I was lost. And I was trying to get a chip for my phone because I didn't have any cell service. I neglected to get the right chip. And when I got there, I didn't have any cell service. So I didn't have any directions. I didn't have anything. And I'm sitting there trying to talk to the person behind the counter. And he walked away. And then some other girl came up and she was trying to, figure out what I was saying, which was like really weird. I'm like, you don't you hear me? And not just really understanding that she don't even know what I'm saying. And this guy kept staring at me, right? And he had I guess his girlfriend. I found that was his girlfriend at the time. He had his girlfriend with him. They kept staring. And I'm getting irritated because I'm like, why are you staring at me, dude? And he's like, he said, let me help you. And I said, you speak English and Spanish? He said, I can do. He's like, I can do better than you. I can do better than you. I'm like, okay. And do you know, from that interaction, I think we hung out maybe about 4 or 5 times. He invited me to his office. After that interaction, after we got the chip, he invited me. He said, "Let me, he said we want to take you out to um, lunch," and took me to lunch. And then after lunch, we just connected. One of the nicest people you would really want to come across. Introduced me to his brother, his girlfriend, his friends, and family. We went out to dinner, and his family came, and other friends came, and we had a great time. A great time. And I said that to say that now everything we do has to be about spending money and taking some expensive vacation or something like that. And we lose our connection with each other. We lose our connection with our family and the things that only matter. And now we're finding out through this dead internet theory that even the things that we thought was engaging with us, it's not even real. I mean, you've seen the clips of some people, they have this bar where you can bring your AI date in there. To me, that's a whole nother level of diabolical. It's one thing to have an AI, I guess, flesh toy, they call it, flesh flashlight, or an AI bot, you sitting there, doing unspeakable things to it, doing nasty things to it, you know. That's weird. But to actually have a machine that feeds back into you artificially, it's crazy work. That is crazy work. And I noticed that if you look at a certain generation, right, their social skills are really bad, really bad. Like a lot of them can get on here and they can stream and talk because it's no response back. But when you encounter them, like say if they're working at a restaurant or something like that, or they're in the world, they don't even talk to each other. They don't have. Do not underestimate the importance of social skills. We're social beings. It's in the name. We're social beings. We need social skills. Everyone's not going to just agree with you. Everyone is not going to just be the first to engage with you. You have to learn that the importance of us connection with each other. You notice that we lost our connection with family because of the way this society is set up, and you work in and you move out, and you don't spend any more time with your children. You don't spend any more time, with your partner, your spouse. And now they want to separate the little bit of connection that we have with each other that we thought we were getting through social media. That's becoming fake. You got to be careful of the path we're going down here. That this is not real. As I said earlier, the only way you know this is real is because of my low viewership. But what matters is us reconnecting with each other as a conscious community, as social beings. That's going to become more important because that's how we raise the consciousness of humanity. That's how we raise the vibration of the planet. In spirituality, we have a concept that everything's a mirror of you for your personal growth. Why does that person bother you? Why did that trigger you? Everyone is a mirror of you to aid you in your spiritual growth, right? What happens when that mirror is artificial? Oh, that's a bar. Somebody should write that down. What happens when the mirror is artificial and it just echoes back to you what you want to hear? There's no growth there. There's no evolvement there, evolution. There's no challenge to you there. If everything it says back to you is that you're right about everything, then we're talking about being stagnant in your consciousness and stagnant in your growth. I have discussions with people all the time about this spiritual journey. And they get very intense. And they're supposed to be intense because you should believe what you believe until you find evidence of it not being what you thought it was. And that's growth. When you tell me to read a Bible and not to think more than what's being read or said to me, I know you're trying to hinder my personal growth. If you go somewhere and all you're being told is what people want you to know and no more than that, you become very, very stagnant and very, again, sleep, unconscious. So I really want to know what you guys think about this dead internet theory. I want you to thumbs up this video. Leave a comment down below. If you are not part of the conscious community, please subscribe to the newsletter. That way you can stay updated to everything that we're doing in the conscious community. Get that newsletter and get information on the different workshops that we'll be having. Saturdays, we have a live psychic training practice to engage you in your psychic abilities and your psychic gift. We're starting to see people tap into more and more of their abilities. And so our psychic practice will help you with that. We did it earlier in this video. You guys can go back and check that out. I think that's about the end of what I wanted to communicate today. I hope it resonates with whoever it was meant to resonate with and aids them in their spiritual growth. I truly appreciate the opportunity to everyone that participated in this to allow me to share my perspective. It is wild feeling the energy of others. I love it. I love it. I love to feel the energy of people, especially conscious people. And that's being taken away from us. And we slowly are not even aware of it, which is crazy work. Well, we have a few people like me out here trying to awaken the masses, share our perspective. Even when someone comes against you, even in the real world, a lot of times they're not even real. Someone cuts you off in traffic, it's probably not even a real person. Not at that moment in time. You guys got to understand how your consciousness can be hijacked. Your consciousness can be hijacked when you live in your lower vibrational energy and it gets suppressed, right? Your consciousness can get hijacked and you can do things that you wouldn't normally do. And you're like, I don't know why I did that. I'm glad you appreciated it, sister. I truly appreciate you. Don't forget to thumbs up and like this video. I will be back on tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for this live discussion. We are going to start with some psychic training just to kind of warm up a little bit, get your mind open. Then we're going to move into probably talking about a chakra. See if we're going to talk about a chakra. All right. Maybe I'll talk about the Palmera chakras tomorrow. You guys want me to talk about the Palmera chakras? Talk about those tomorrow. All right. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I mean, 8:15, 8 o'clock 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. All right. All right. I knew you were going to ask that. I knew you were going to ask that. All right. Let me wish everyone love and light in their journey. And also, I wish you wealth and happiness in your journey. You guys have a great day.